Okay, there's going to be some important details and rules and updates and changes and news at the second half of this video. But the first half of this video is one simple headline. Applications to be a presenter at HypnoThoughts Live 2024 are now open. Big news, big headline. We do this every year. First week of September through the last day of October is when applications are open. It's always been that way, and yet every year people don't know that. And so please, 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 please share this video. Share it in a private message with someone you think would be a great presenter. Share it in a group where you think there's multiple people who will be great presenters. Share this video so we don't have that thing where we accept all the applications and then 3 days later we get somebody who's awesome. And they're like, I didn't know. Or worse, every once in a while, there's a person who's a big name who says, I've never been invited to present at HypnoThoughts Live. That's not how we do things. We make this video. You share it. They go to the website, htlive.net. They click on the button that says speaker application. They fill out the form just like you've all done in the last couple of years. It'll be the exact same form. You fill it out. We let you know we've got your application, and then we're off and running. That's how we do things. Now, there's a couple things that I want to emphasize. There's going to be a couple changes like we do every year, but first, this is a reminder. HypnoThoughts Live is not a place to sell from the front of the room. Your class may not be a sales pitch. It is a place to provide value, not market. If you're providing value, it inherently markets you. And if you try to turn your class, 20-minute class, 30-minute class, 60-minute class, 2-hour class, whatever the number of minutes is, if you turn that into a commercial, it will backfire. Because we had too much of that this last year. In 2023, we had too many people doing short classes as commercials. And so this is the moment where we're pulling back on that and just reminding you guys that our audience has been conditioned to expect value out of every course they walk into. Every course needs to stand on its own merits as providing value, and it's a good thing it was there. And it's made the audience better. If you say you can't teach in the allotted time, tell us and turn off the class. We'll reschedule, we'll move things around. We want to make sure it's good. I'm speaking at conferences all over the world on all sorts of topics. And a 45-minute talk is a huge, long talk at other conferences. But we are a wordy bunch. And so we've got this idea that a longer class is therefore better. I really want to teach us how to distill and synthesize. And so we are going to do another year of working on that. Like when I give talks at like medical healthcare conferences, they're 20-minute talks. And that's like standard. That's good. It is your job to synthesize everything down into like 25 minutes. And I just did a talk the other day that it was a 30-minute talk, and I didn't get to my final slide, just because I ran out of time. And I want to teach us how to get better at that. So that's the first thing, is they need to be valuable talks. They need to be valuable. And part of that is I am removing 4-hour talks from HypnoThoughts Live this year. We might bring them back, but you guys know we like to experiment. And I really want to work on getting us used to providing value in shorter windows of time so that every class someone walks into, they know it's going to be great. I don't want us to be thinking, well, it's only a class if it's 2 or 4 hours and everything else can be a commercial. We are breaking that and making sure it's broken industry-wide right now. And I think we're all going to be happy about that. Your class is not a commercial. There's no 4-hour talks. It's the short talks. We're going to keep those. Slightly fewer of them than last year. We're going to have about the same 1-hour talks, just barely a couple fewer 2-hour talks, and then no 4-hour talks. And so we are reducing the number of talks at HypnoThoughts Live. You heard everything's going down just a little bit. 4 hours are going away completely. 2 hours going down a little bit. 1 hour is about the same, tiny bit lower, but basically the same. And 30-minute talks, about half. So smaller conference, more focused. We just think that's the right thing. And also, we're going to be doing a little shuffle with vendor time to make sure it's more valuable. We put it at the end of the day last year to make it a happy hour. We're going to move it back to the middle of the day. You'll get a whole video on that. But just to let you know, we're still dedicated to making sure that it's a great commercial success for those of you who are dedicating your time to coming and teaching and providing value. It's great. And we experiment to make sure there's dedicated vendor time to make sure you're making your money, because you're taking time away from your practices and your careers and your families to be here. So we want to make sure it's a good business deal. So we're modifying vendor stuff as well. We're going to move it so it's more convenient and in both time and space. So there'll be a whole video on that, and there'll be a whole video on the self-care room, and there'll be a whole video on all sorts of other things. But for now, you need to know this. I will get into greater detail of how we pick presenters. I make videos on that all the time. We are very transparent about these things because you guys support our transparency and our experimentation, which is great. So this year, fewer talks, but still a ton. We'll still be by a large percentage the biggest conference in the world. It's still not close. We're way bigger, even with this slight focusing. All the classes will be value providing. There were a few people, especially a couple new people, who thought that they could turn a short talk into a commercial. I understand that other conferences have let them get away with that. We're not gonna. The classes, every class will be high caliber, high quality. We will be focused, and there's going to be a real commitment to experiential stuff. There will be whole videos about that that are going to be coming up because HypnoThoughts Live is a different thing than all the other conferences. It's just a different animal. And we all know that. Anybody who's been to the conference knows that it's different. And you're going to hear how Stephanie and I have been talking about leaning into that a lot. So you'll get other videos on that. But for right now, go to HypnoThoughts Live and fill out an application to be a presenter if you want to speak. By the way, if you don't want to speak, go to the website anyway and register to attend because right now the tickets are the cheapest they're going to be all year. If you register now, it is the cheapest the tickets are going to be. You should get one. They are only going to go up in price. And if we do any promos or discounts, you'll get it even if you've already bought your ticket. We always make those like backwards compatible. So you risk nothing. Share this video. Share it with a friend in a private message. Share it in a group. I know I already said this. It's important. It's how we get great presenters who don't hear about us organically. Is one of you says, oh, you should be going to this. This is the one I told you about. And they're like, oh, and then they fill it out. Please do that for us. Please remind them. I know we're all busy, so make sure we get this in front of people. Applications to present at HypnoThoughts Live are open for the next 2 months, and then they are closed. I hope you get your application in immediately because the sooner you get them in, the easier it is on us because we can start sifting and organizing in the meantime. So that's what I got from you guys. Thanks for watching, and more details from me on all the other stuff soon.